Did you know that some of the deleted scenes from the first episode will be shown in the next 8 episodes of the series? Or that some scenes from the pilot episode were removed because they were too scary? We researched and compiled to show you all the key deleted scenes and images from the amazing digital circus. And believe me, many of them will surprise you and even make you feel scared. If you have the courage, stay until the end of this video. Gangles Masks. One of the most enigmatic scenes that ended up being cut from the pilot episode we all watched is an extremely disturbing moment where Gangle is in a bathroom, probably inside her room, and there she is looking directly at the mirror, while around her we can count 10 masks completely broken and some patched up with tape. The first strange thing about this scene is the question, why does she have a bathroom when she can't eat anything? After this obvious question, we can deduce a few things, like the fact that there are only broken happy masks and no sad ones, which probably means that at some point, Gangle herself ended up breaking her masks when she felt desperate or angry about something. Or maybe Jax broke them all, as he loves to do evil things just for the sake of being evil. But this is definitely one of the scenes that have a very high chance of being shown in one of the upcoming episodes of the series, where we will probably see that Gangle's real face is always sadness, so she always finds a way to break the happiness mask. At least, that's one theory that would make sense. Pure evil. Maybe you're very young and haven't seen the meme image of the little girl in the fire. It's an image that a father took of a house in his neighborhood that was on fire, and accidentally, his daughter's face appeared in the photo, and she was simply smiling. One of the scenes that originally would have aired in the pilot episode would exactly imitate the somewhat sociopathic air that the meme photo conveys. But instead of the little girl, we would have Jax. Always him. But in the final edit of the episode, the production team decided to change Jax's expression, and the psychotic smile was replaced by a fearful expression, as at that moment, he knew that the noise he had heard was Kaufmo approaching in his monstrous form. I think that would be too strange even for Jax, don't you think? From all angles. The animation team of the amazing digital circus is really one of the most detailed ones out there. They started producing the series 1.5 years before the pilot episode's release, and one of the proofs that they really worked hard is the fact that they produced the same scene from different angles. This happened exactly in the scene we were referring to where Jax looks back in fear. We found on the internet the same scene from a much wider and open angle, where you can see Jax looking back, and a bit further, Kinger and Gangle. They did this to evaluate which scene would be more interesting to air. The other scene was lost, unless it is used as a view from an angle by another character who would have been hidden observing everything and has not been shown yet. I believe this would be the only way to reuse this deleted scene from the first episode. Do you have any theories about it? If yes, share them in the comments. If not, comment #Circus then. Kane Perspective. The same thing that happened with the scene we just talked about with Jax, Kinger, and Gangle was also done in the digital circus's initial presentation by Kane, where we see him saying that he was about to mess with the minds and hearts of the viewers. Initially, the creative team also created another scene viewed from a different angle, as if it were another camera, where we can see a perspective of a heart and a brain. However, unlike the 2 organs that appear in the pilot episode, in the deleted scene, they are much more realistic, with the heart having a bright red color and the brain being pink, just like they are in real life. Maybe depicting such realistic internal organs was considered too much, and the colors of both were changed to avoid possible censorship issues. Regatta's reaction. Another scene involving one of the most beloved characters by the audience also ended up being modified during the final edit. We're talking about Regatta, as most digital circus fans sympathize with the digital ragdoll, as she was the most sympathetic character to Pomy. When they are in front of Kaufmo's room, originally, Regatta would have a much more desperate and active body language, even pointing at Kaufmo when explaining that what happened to him was because of madness. But this was changed only to show her expression of fear and restraint in the scene, indicating that she was indeed very scared, keeping both hands close together. Furthermore, originally she would have a blue dress which was recolored to the lilac one we all know. Abused Regatta. Since we're talking about Regatta, let's discuss the character introduction scene that was released by the creator of the show, Glitch, but ended up not being used in the final version of the cartoon. In Regatta's introduction, we see something extremely sinister happening, where you won't believe it, but she gets hit in the head with a butcher's cleaver. She smiles and removes the sharp object from her own head. And between us, it seems like she has a certain skill with knives by the way she handled the cleaver, which might indicate that she's not as sweet as she seems, don't you think? Pomy and the knives. Another character who went through very similar situation but didn't react as well was the series protagonist, Pomy. This happened in a teaser posted by the show's creator, Gooseworks, about a year ago, where we see Kane playfully throwing knives with Pomy attached to a wooden circle. And it seems like he's not very good with knives, because Pomy reappears shortly after being covered in knives, especially in her head. Clearly she is trembling and traumatized by the torturous experience Kane put her through. Based on this, we can even imagine that she threw that cleaver at Regatta. Mirror, mirror on the wall. One of the creepiest scenes from the pilot episode of The Amazing Digital Circus could have been even creepier if it hadn't been changed. We're talking about the moment when Pomy is searching for Kane as Regatta asked, and then she comes across a mirror and spends some long seconds staring at her new face as if she can't believe that's her new appearance. Originally, the same things would happen, but with a brutal change. In the end, we would see a completely terrifying reflection of Pomy coming out of the mirror, indicating that she was really close to completely losing her sanity, which is somewhat what happens just before she opens the door to the void. I have to admit that if that scene had been kept, I would have been truly startled. And if you want more constant content about movies, series, and cartoons, click on the subscribe button down below so you can be easily notified when our videos are released. Scared Jax. Since we mentioned Pomnisphere, did you know that the Glitch team, led by Gooseworks, created a sinister expression for Jax that was supposed to be used when he got that big scare from opening Kaufmo's room door? Although the smile leaves his face and his eyes widen in that scene, you can see that the team's intention was for Jax to have a cartoonishly scary expression, just like in 80s cartoons, because this would be the expression that was prepared for that moment. Honestly, I think that expression wouldn't fit well in the context of the episode, and it would only increase the theories that the characters are in hell. Crucified Pomy. Speaking of hell, it's inevitable to mention that there is at least one major religious reference in The Amazing Digital Circus. It happens at the end of the episode when everyone is at the table pretending to have a meal, since no one eats anything in that dimension they are in. This is clearly a reference to one of the most famous paintings by the artist Leonardo da Vinci, the same one who painted the Mona Lisa. The painting is called The Last Supper, and it represents the supper where Judas betrayed Christ, leading to his crucifixion. The detail is that this wouldn't be the only religious reference in the episode because an image of Pomy herself crucified was also created. This, in fact, is one of the scenes that can still be used in the upcoming episodes of the series to further provoke religious themes on the show. Another lake. To conclude, we found an image that shows what the expanded world of The Amazing Digital Circus would have originally looked like. Kane shows Pomy that there's the tent and also the grounds, where the digital lake is located, where, according to Kane, anyone can drown. If you look closely, you'll see that there are several trees around and a small boat floating on its waters. But in the initial concept, we can notice some differences, like the absence of the slide and an indication that the lake is much larger than it appears, as we can see a kind of sailboat on it, which looks much smaller than the original version's little boat. Furthermore, we can see that among the mountains, there is a small cabin, which could be the way to an unknown place, or just the restaurant where Kane and Bola were having tea while Kaufmo was trying to kill all the other residents of the digital circus. In any case, it may be that there lies the long-awaited exit that all the circus members want to find so badly. Who knows, maybe we'll see that in the upcoming episodes. Those were the 11 deleted scenes and images from The Amazing Digital Circus that we've selected to show you in this video. And soon, the second episode of this digital phenomenon will be released. While we wait, we picked these videos for you to enjoy. Just choose and click. Have fun!